Welcome back, Cardboard Warriors. How's everybody doing out there today? I wasn't able to get this uploaded earlier, but this is my results of the pre-release event for Dungeons and Dragons Forgotten or Adventures in the Forgotten Realms. Yeah, that's a mouthful. There's way too many words on this set. Um, First, a tip for when you're going to drafts or pre-releases or whatever. Bring sleeves. I totally forgot my sleeves and my deck box with my dice and all that. Completely forgot it. Luckily, a buddy of mine, Vince, thank you so much, Vince, needed to buy some sleeves, so he bought a set of sleeves and let me use them for the tournament, so I didn't have to spend a bunch of money on sleeves, even though I have literally thousands of sleeves at the house. So what I did was I took a just cheap deck box and some sleeves and a couple of dice, and I threw them in here, and I'm going to put this in my car and leave it in there. So next time I forget sleeves, I'll have them. So just a tip for you guys out there. If you got extra sleeves and extra deck boxes and extra dice, just throw some in your car so you don't forget when you go to a pre-release event or whatever. All right, now down to the nitty-gritty. Obviously, you can see I have some prize packs here. I did win a few rounds, so we'll open those, but I gotta admit, I was completely wrong about this set. This set is actually really good. It's got some great cards in it. I guess a few D&D players have commented the reason they did the showcase art like this is because it's a throwback to early D&D when people would draw their own characters. So these are supposed to look like amateur hand-drawn characters. So that makes more sense. I still don't like the looks of them. I think they're still kind of whatever. But it makes sense to me now. So thank you guys for commenting on that. And the dungeon module cards are actually supposed to be the covers of the old dungeon modules. So I don't think they're attractive, but for the D&D players, it's nostalgia for them. So that's all that matters because it's a D&D set. So I never played D&D, so I came across a couple cards. One, the Rogue class card. That card is unbelievably strong. I just got trounced by a guy with that. He happened to get it both first hands of the games that we played, so he ended up beating me 2-0 just because of that card. Literally, that was the only reason. He was taking my cards and using them against me, and I had a bunch of scry ability in my deck, but every time I'd scry, he'd steal the top card, and yeah, it didn't work. So that Rogue class is just unbelievably strong card. Check that one out. I can't believe it's like bulk right now. And then the other one I came across was this guy, the Werewolf Pack Leader. I don't even have one. I haven't even pulled one yet. It's just a rare, but it's a 2-drop 3/3 with no negatives, and it's got bonuses. It's whenever Werewolf Pack Leader attacks, if you attack with creatures with a total power 6 or greater this combat, draw a card. And so you get card draw in green, which is great. And then 4, 1 green, 3 colorless. Until end of turn, Werewolf Pack Leader has base power and toughness 5/3, gains trample, and isn't human. It's a 2-drop 3/3 with bonuses. This card is broken. Anyway, so I wanted to kind of show you guys that one that I come across playing against it. It beat me up pretty bad. That one was tough, especially because they kept... the person had a lot of equipment. He's running a green and white, I believe. It had a lot of equipment cards, including the ones that give you a discount for equip costs that are +3/+3. So yeah, he was trouncing over for a lot of damage. All right, on to my deck. What I did. My pre-release card, the first card I saw was Eboneth. So that was actually my pre-release card in the deck, so not a bad pull right to start off. So as soon as I opened the box, I was like, oh, guess I'm running black. So and then I got an old Gnawbone, borderless, not bad little pull there. I got a Fiddlebender with the showcase, hand drawn, whatever. Dungeon Descent, Long Rest, Hand of Vesna, which I did stack in the deck. It came in handy once, but the other couple times I actually got it early on in the game, it stayed in my hand the whole game because it was worthless because I didn't have enough other cards. If I'd have put this out, I would have had no cards in hand or 1 card in hand, so it just wasn't worth it. So this one really kind of got to have a deck built around it. I wouldn't suggest grabbing this in sealed or draft because it's just not that effective. You don't get enough card draw unless you build a deck around it to make this really effective. Tasha's Hideous Laughter was the other kind of big card that I got that I wasn't sure about it, but my buddy was like, dude, that would deck my whole library. You'd win the game just with that card because everything I've got's 1 and 2 drops in my deck, you know? He's like, I think my most expensive creature's 3. So, if you don't know what the card does, each opponent exiles cards from the top of their library until that player has exiled cards with a total mana value 20 or more. So I ended up going black and blue just mainly because of that card, and I had some other really good synergy in the black and blue combo there, that kind of rogue stuff going on. So and I'll show you that in a second here. So I ended up going black and blue. The few times that I was able to use this card, it was against an opponent who had a lot of big cards, so I really only milled like 10 or 12 cards out of him. The one time I did get a lot of really good cards out of his library that he would have drawn in too soon, but really kind of, again, you got to build a deck around this, and it'd be nice if you had a couple of these in there. I got a Paladin class foil, but I didn't go white, and I got a Portable Hole foil, didn't go white. I was really tempted to go black and white, and somebody else went black and white that ended up beating me, so I probably should have gone black and white, but the reason I went black and blue is because I ended up getting 2 of the Thieves' Tools, which make a creature power 3 or less unblockable, and creates a treasure token when it hits the field. For a 2-drop, that's really, really good card. This is a common to look out for. And then I got 2 of the Soul Knife Spies. So whenever it deals damage to a player, draw a card. So I'm looking at these 2 and like, I've got 2 combos in a sealed deck that I can get card draw and 3 damage through every turn. So I was like, that's a good way to go. I also had the Lightfoot Rogue that is a little 2-drop 2/1, but whenever it attacks, you roll a d20 and it either gets Death Touch, 1+1+0 and Death Touch, or +3+0 for Strike and Death Touch. So I was really negative on the whole dice roll thing because I was like, I don't like chance. But with a chance like this, at the very least, he's going to be a 2/1 Death Touch. So there's really no downside to the whole dice roll thing. It's not like, oh, if you get a bad roll, you're hosed on the attack. He's still going to be a 2/1 Death Touch regardless. You know, it's just he might be a 3/1 Death Touch or a 5/1 First Strike Death Touch. So the dice roll thing, I warmed up to it a little bit. For sealed and draft, the dice roll thing's actually pretty fun, pretty cool. But I got that and this guy were actually a really good combo together. The Feywild Trickster. Whenever you roll 1 or more dice, create a 1/1 blue fairy dragon creature token with flying. So the 2 of these together was awesome because he's got Death Touch, so I'm going to attack every turn. I don't care what they got on the board. I'll just kill it, you know? So rolling the dice and getting the fairy every turn was pretty fun. And there was a time when I had this out where I was getting a couple fairies every attack phase, you know? So, and then I got the Yuan-Ti Fangblade, which is Death Touch, and whenever it deals damage to a player, you venture into the dungeon. And I obviously chose Tomb of Annihilation for my dungeons because I was running black. And this one's a little rough because you end up having to either discard or sacrifice stuff. But it does a lot of damage to the opponent in the process. And it's only, if you go the hard way, 3 levels. If you go the easy way, 4 levels. And you end up getting this 4/4 Death Touch Atropole Beast. So I ended up getting him a couple times in a couple games. I completed the Tomb of Annihilation, so it was kind of fun, but people were also completing the Tomb of Annihilation against me, and that wasn't as fun. So that's kind of why I went with what I did. And then, of course, I got 1 Deadly Dispute, which is draw 2 cards and create a treasure token. And because I was creating so many treasure tokens with the other stuff, like the Thieves' Tools and whatnot, basically it was 2 to draw 2 cards because I was sacrificing a treasure and then getting a treasure back. So it's basically a 2-drop black to draw 2 cards with no downside if you have treasures out. So, and I got a little bit of removal. I got the Precipitous Drop, which again helps you venture into the dungeon as well as removing a creature, small one. And the Trickster's Talisman was actually pretty handy too because I was able to copy the either one of the Soul Knife Spies or the Lightfoot Rogue. With this, I got an extra point of damage and then was able to sack this to copy the creature. And then I was getting, that's how I ended up getting the extra dice roll every turn with the Feywild Trickster, because I then had two of the Lightfoot Rogues out. So, yeah, it worked out pretty good. I ended up going 2-0 on 2 of the rounds, 1-2-0, and I lost 2-1 on 1 of the rounds, but it was so close. Literally, I had him down to 8 life, and I had more than 8 damage on the board. But he had a Thieves' Tools, but it was attached to a creature with 2 other equipments on it, and that was his only creature in play, and they were both the +3/+3, so he couldn't actually make it unblockable. And I had a bunch of creatures out that I could block with. I had a bunch of the little fairy rogues to block with. So he ended up drawing a creature at the very last second and being able to send the pump spells over to them, because I only had 1 life. He got me down to 1 life, and he was able to Thieves' Tools and unblockable come over and hit me. So he ended up winning at the very last second. If he hadn't beaten me that turn, if he hadn't drawn that creature to be able to take those equipment, the pump spells off of his creature, then I would have won that one. I would have won 2-1, but instead I lost 2-1. And then the other one was the guy with the rogue class, who he had really good pulls. He had the rogue class, plus he had a bunch of the really good rogue guys. I forgot. I was going to pull out the one rogue. It was a common or uncommon, little 1 black, 1 blue rogue guy that when he deals damage to the opponent, opponent loses 1 life, you gain life, and you venture into the dungeon, I think. So it was just ridiculous. And he kept hitting me with that, with the Thieves' Tools on it, of course. So, yeah, it was the rogue class, and that rogue class is nuts. The thing I didn't know about the classes, I thought they worked like the sagas. I'm awake. I thought they worked like the sagas, to where as you went to the next level, you lost the first level. Apparently, as you go to the next level, you still have, now you have both. And then when you go to the 3rd level, you have all 3. So those class cards are really, really powerful. I was underestimating them big time. Anyways, let's break into the packs. I've been rambling for long enough, I think. But yeah, I was wrong about this set. It is a really good set. I mean, anything's going to be, pale by comparison right after Modern Horizons 2, because Modern Horizons 2 might be the best Magic set of all time since Unlimited. But yeah, this set is actually really good. It does have some good stuff in it. So let's see what we get here. We got a Ochre Jelly for our first rare, and Air Cult Elemental Foil, and advertising. All right, pack number 1, not as spicy as we were hoping. Let's try pack number 2. Oh, because I won the 2 rounds is why I got, they were basically doing every round you won, you got 2 packs. So I got 4 packs because I won 2 of the rounds. They didn't really do a top 4, top 5, or anything like that. Temple of the Dragon Queen, the card that's worth $1, but if you get it in the dungeon module, it's worth $30. So I don't know how that works. I'm not sure about that. Loyal Warhound, 2 Annihilation. Okay, we're not getting very spicy stuff. Where is the good stuff? Oh, come on, don't do that. I hate when you do that, because then you bend the corner of the card. All right. Pack number 3, Wizard class. And there we go. Grand Master of Flowers. Nice little Planeswalker Mythic. So that's a decent hit. Got enough cards in the pre-release pack that we're ahead on value already. So these are all just gravy. Gravy on top. Alright. And a Skeletal Swarming. Skeletal Travel gonna be a thing? I don't know. We'll see. I will mention the green card that I showed you. It was the werewolf. And obviously the next sets coming out are the Innistrad werewolves and vampires. So I think there's going to be a lot of use for that 2-drop. I think that 2-drop's probably going to jump up in price as soon as people realize what that card really is. I mean, especially with a whole werewolf themed set coming out, there's going to be a werewolf travel, and that card is going to be a monster. So you heard it here first. Well, I don't know if it was first, but you heard it here. I told you. So the card's going to be worth something, I have a feeling. I could be wrong, but it looks pretty powerful. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I know this is a little bit longer of one of the draft results videos, but it's pre-release, and I had a lot to go over because, yeah, I totally underestimated this set. This set's a pretty good set, so it may not look as good as some of the other sets that came out recently, and there may not be the big chase cards really like the other sets, but you know, a lot of that I think is just because Modern Horizons 2 just came out, and Modern Horizons 2 is unbelievably good. So it just makes this one not look that impressive by comparison. So yeah, keep that in mind that this set is actually a really good set. I think it's every bit as good as Strixhaven or Kaldheim, maybe a little bit better. There does seem to be a little bit more power in this set and a lot of new mechanics. So that seem to synergize really well together. So a lot of synergy in this set. It's going to be a good set to draft, a good set for sealed. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know how you did at your pre-release events, and if you played in them at all, and what you pulled. All right, thanks guys. Check out the description below. A lot of Amazon sales still. Kaldheim boxes are on sale for $90, set boxes. So that's a really good deal. So check that out. Links in the description. And thank you guys so much. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.